Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge podcast. My name is Josh. Breaking news. This guy named James Charles, I don't know if you guys know him or anything. He just came with another apology video. I don't do this very often, but I'm gonna, react to it. I think one of the things I'm gonna do on this channel is start morphing, not away from family vloggers. I'm definitely gonna continue to cover them and snark on them, but start getting into influencer culture as well. Because I think it's just a natural progression from mommy vlogging influencers to actual real world influencers who are influencing my kids. And so as a parent, as a Dad Challenge podcast, I think it's important to start diving into these tea topics. I guess you can call them tea if you want. It's straight tea. So Def Noodles, I've been watching Def Noodles coverage of all the things going on with David Brodnick or David Brodnick. I don't know what the hell his guy's name is. And Trisha and all these people. The drama is crazy, and a lot of it is manufactured, and obviously, but this is not a manufactured drama. This is actually quite scary, and for a dad of a teenager who loves TikTok, who loves Instagram, who loves to be on social media, I feel like he's a perfect target for this type of behavior, and it can't be allowed to continue. And so we have to call it out, and we have to maybe snark on it. We have to react to it. We have to talk about it from a dad's perspective. I don't see any dad on YouTube or anywhere else talking about influencer culture for our children and how they're being affected. So we're gonna tear this video to shreds. I haven't even watched it yet, but we're gonna do it together. But before we do that, you know what we gotta do. We gotta dance. We gotta throw that ball.
Yeah, baby.
Laura Brake, wifey buy me a new sweater, you like it? It's nice. Oh! We get a lot of comments, people like, do you ever get it in? Yeah, sometimes. And what do you get if you get it in? You get a t-shirt. That's if I get it in. But it rarely does happen. I think it's happened 4 or 5 times max. So it's a rarity, but it does happen. So let's dance.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, that's the new TikTok dance the kids are doing. That's smarts. Elizabeth S. from the YouTube. Yeah! Woohoo! Suck on that! Does go in. See, Elizabeth S. Reach out. You won a shirt. See, I'm not a total loser all the time. Mostly, but not all the time. So, let's get to it. Reiterating that what we're doing here is I'm not just diving into tea for the sake of tea. I will never do that. I promise you guys, I won't do that. But this is important because this guy's targeting kids. And what do we do on this channel? We try to protect kids any way possible by calling out these behaviors, by calling out bad behaviors. And James Charles has been pressured into doing this. Okay. And again, it's the white apology video, but he's not wearing a white shirt, but he's got a white background. But what's with the hair? My son has hair like this. Why? He looked like Wolverine's step uncle. He talks really quietly, and I think, because I watched 2 seconds of it to see the volume. But if you didn't know who James Charles was, welcome to the club. I think he's a makeup influencer. A very popular person, makes tons of money. He's like Jeffree Star, I think. Younger, though, and apparently has a problem with being attracted to underage children, kids who are not of age of consent, and has used the excuse many times that, I didn't know their age. Doesn't matter. The law's the law, regardless if you know it or not. That's something I know. Anyway, likely getting a super copyright strike on this video. Whatever, it doesn't matter, because I think it's important to talk about this. Let's dismantle this effing apology video, because everybody eventually has to do one of these, and it sucks. This is his second one. He's just trying to, his wallet is being affected now, so this way he has to do this. So let's do it.
Hello everyone, James Charles here,
Holy.
and today I'm going to be making a very important video about a very important topic.
Important. It's not a word. Okay. And I feel like the education system has failed this guy. He's got a paper clip in his ear and a lock and a key. Look, you guys are definitely going to be, I'm going to date myself. I don't know this new culture of shit, even though I have kids in that culture. I sort of know it. I try to ignore it because I'm like, it's terrible, but this, let's go.
As many of you guys know, about 2 years ago now, I was involved with a very public online scandal in which some fellow YouTubers made some very serious accusations against me, and within the past couple of weeks, similar accusations are being made again, and I think it's very important that I get on camera and talk to you guys honestly about what is going on.
Well, okay, everyone. Okay, talk normally, first of all. Second of all, turn the mic up. This guy has professional producers and directors. Audio. At least it's an echoey room a little bit, but like the audio dudes, I have this thing at almost max volume. I usually have it at like 1/4. So not acceptable.
When this first happened 2 years ago,
those nails, again, I will ask, how do you wipe your ass with nails that long? I swear to God, I'm going to get fake nails done and I'm going to walk you through what it's like are there special tools? I know I'm snarking a little bit, not trying to get too snarky, but the nails, you know?
I uploaded a video to my channel called No More Lies, and that video was a very planned video. It focused on receipts and screenshots and defending myself in the situation, but I want you guys to know that this video that I'm going to be making today is going to be nothing like No More Lies. This is not exactly planned. I don't have a script. I will let you guys know that I do have just some notes in front of me of
that's a script.
Points that I want to make because this is a very, very serious topic, but
you need some water, bro. Sorry. I know I'm old because I think this hair is not cool. I know that's where I'm like as a dad and a 40-year-old dude who's just like, I think I have a little bit of sense. Not as much as this guy clearly, but what is going on? Is it because he has to like continually change it to do makeup and stuff? I don't know.
Today's video is going to be from the heart, and I'm going to focus on what happened, the conclusions that I've
can't stop looking at those nails.
Come to, and most importantly, holding myself accountable for my own actions. First and foremost, I need to say sorry.
First and foremost, you need to be charged and put in prison. Dude, if he's about to admit, likely he spoke to many lawyers because he probably has many lawyers, but if he's about to admit what he did here, that's like he did something illegal. Just apologizing on YouTube is not going to help you at all. Like you could end up in jail. I hope he got legal advice.
A massive apology to anybody that I've hurt or anybody that I made uncomfortable with my actions. And I also want to say I'm sorry to my friends, family, and fans.
Are you going to say sorry to the underage boys that you tried to do things with? I hope that's coming next.
That have to watch another one of these videos because you shouldn't have to, and this is really, really embarrassing.
He just apologized to everybody but the victims, that is a lawyer saying, don't do that. So should have done that. You don't need to apologize to anybody except for the victims, not the people around you because they suffering through your bad choices. Apologize to victims. This is the victims here.
When this all started online a few weeks ago, it sparked a large conversation and many people have shared their thoughts and opinions, and I want to take some time to address literally everything in today's video. But before doing that, I want to make it really, really clear that I fully understand my actions and how they are wrong.
Okay, so he's admitting guilt. That's... wow, I didn't expect. I didn't expect that.
There's no excuse for them, and I don't plan on making any in this video either. And I hope that you will choose to watch it all the way through. I also just want to make a quick note as well that I'm filming this on the night of March 31st. It is currently 12:54 in the morning.
So the morning of March 31st. So April 1st. He's filming this April 1st because it's 12:54.
I'm alone here in the studio, and I know that when I upload this tomorrow, it is going to be April Fool's Day, which is awful timing because this video and this topic is not a joke in any way, shape, or form. And I don't want anybody to think that it is, but I also don't...
I couldn't sit there and talk to this guy for a long period of time. What? Like if you're in a loud restaurant, be like, he's talking, you're like, You're trying really hard to listen. And you're like, yeah, no, what? You know that guy's like, what? And you're like, yeah, I get it. But you didn't hear the thing. You're like, yeah, totally. But you don't know what the person said. You just want to like, let's be done with this. And they could have said something crazy like, I want to give you $1 million. Like, oh yeah. Or they want to be like, hey, can I borrow $20? And you're like, yeah, cool. And you didn't hear it, but they're waiting. You're like, shit, what do I do now? That's like having a conversation with this guy.
I don't wait any longer to speak about this. I want you guys to know that this is very, very important to me, and I'm taking this very, very seriously.
If you're taking it very seriously, you wouldn't. Again, why don't you just like, I get they're saying they're taking it seriously. So maybe in his defense, all this stuff started piling up. Then he's got the lawyers, he's got the PR people saying, okay, now's the time. Up until this point, because it gets to a point where you can no longer. There's got to be a breaking point, right? There's going to be too many people piling on, and when you have to respond to it, then some people like, see, his fans who still support him will say, see, he did it. And that's justification because a lot of fans are turning, right? So he has to do this apology because what he did was absolutely illegal, allegedly, I think.
The last thing that I want to say before I just get into it is that I think it's important that I provide a trigger warning for this video. There's going to be topics and things talked about that are very, very sensitive to some people, and I don't want anybody to have to listen to those if they don't want to. So
one thing I noticed as a father of a 19-year-old and of a 14-year-old teenage boy, this guy is still really not an adult. I can just see it by the way he talks. I've never seen any of this guy's videos. This is raw dog in here, guys. I'm just watching a video from a guy that I know his name because he's one of the most famous people on YouTube. Never seen one of his videos. I assume it's just like a reality TV type of Kardashian thing where he does makeup and then teams up with people, I guess, right? That's what I'm assuming. So you can hate me all you want for that. But at the same time, my first analysis, and this is what I do in the show. If you don't know, if you guys are new here because I'm doing a James Charles video, I always do my first impressions on videos. I don't watch them first. I give you my first impression. And my first impression of this guy is he is way, way beyond immature for, I think he's 21 years old. So likely that plays into the factor. I don't know. It's still legal what he's done, but I'm just saying he is not mature is what I'm saying.
Just letting you know right now. But with all that said, I think it's time that we talk. In case anybody isn't aware of what's going on within the...
Oh, everybody's aware. I literally don't know anything, and I'm aware. So thanks, Def Noodles. I follow Def. You guys, the two guys I listen to for tea, Sloan and Def Noodles, because I'd like the little bit. I want to stay on top of the tea. I'm part of the YouTube community, I guess, and so it's important. And I like to support Sloan. He's the prince of YouTube, and I've been watching Def Noodles since the day I started because he's hilarious. And so check out those guys. Def Noodles is the one that's like Def Noodles is power on this platform. Okay, like I love Def Noodles. Anyway, that all to be said. Let's continue on this shit.
Last couple of weeks, two different people, both under the age of 18, have recently come forward saying that they had inappropriate messages with me on social media. One of them being from last year and one of them being from more recent. In both of these cases, I added these people on Snapchat, asked how old they were right away, was told that they were 18, believed them, engaged in a flirty conversation, and then later on found...
Flirty. All right, that what we're calling it? No. Look. See, I clearly this guy has spoken to lawyers, okay? So, allegedly. But it doesn't matter if a kid says who they are. You likely just have to use your own intuition sometimes. Or if you're a millionaire, YouTube famous person, for whatever the case, just don't do those. Because you've already had I think it's this fourth scandal of the same thing. If this happens once and a kid says, hey, I'm 18. Right? It doesn't even matter. Still, it's still illegal, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You live in this sphere. You are very wealthy. You are targeting these kids. You're the one reaching out to them a lot of the time. I think that's the case. Probably got that wrong. But it seems to me like you see these kids and like, I know that some kids look older than they are, but I've seen the kids that he's targeting. They look like my 14-year-old. That's what I'm saying. Okay. And he clearly has a type. He likes younger dudes. He's gay, obviously, and that's his type. And so you get an 18-year-old, and the disparage between 21 and 18 is not a big deal, right? It's 3 years. You're talking negligible as long as they're within age of consent. But you have a responsibility as a person in your walk of life, James Charles, that you just have to be more careful. And you weren't, and likely you're not really telling the truth either, because I think there are receipts out there otherwise. But unless he's going to provide them here, we'll see. Allegedly, all those things.
That they were actually 16.
Crazy.
Upon finding out, I was immediately embarrassed.
Let's just rewind. A 16-year-old, okay? Likely in grade 11, okay? we call that grade 11 here. I don't know what you call that, sophomore or something in the States. A 16-year-old can just get his license here. And it's G1. So you get your G1, which is graduated licenses. You can't actually drive by yourself. You have to drive with an adult, okay? A 16-year-old cannot vote. A 16-year-old cannot smoke. A 16-year-old cannot drink, okay? A 16-year-old basically can do nothing but get their license. It is the age of consent for sex here in Canada, but I don't know what the age of consent is where he is there. So it wouldn't have been a big deal. Okay, it still would have been gross because there's still this other. We have to obviously talk about the power dynamic between someone who's super famous and a kid that he wants to, sext with and have flirty conversations with. Right? He clearly has a problem. The issue is that he has a problem, and instead of dealing with the problem, he thinks he could just get away with it and he likely can because he can afford it. Right? Isn't that crazy?
And blocked both people. Later on, when I saw them making videos about it and those videos going viral, my immediate reaction, completely honestly, was to be really, really upset.
Well, yeah. Because you did the thing wrong, dude. You were the wrong... And you know what? He's upset for his career and his path because they made viral videos about that because what he did was wrong. It was illegal. And he's literally admitting it here. So I don't know how this is going to be quite an interesting weekend.
I wanted to get on camera and film another No More Lies video where I gather all my receipts and all my screenshots and try to tell my side of the story and then just move on from the situation. And now, looking back, that was so stupid because as I did more research on these topics and self-reflected, I realized that the receipts and the screenshots and the specific details of the interaction really don't matter because I f***ed up.
Right. They don't matter because you were wrong. So the first one, he said he has all these receipts and all these things and all that, whatever. This one, he didn't have that same stuff because he literally just admitted right here the guilt. He's guilty. I'm not even have to say allegedly because he just said he did the thing. So he's like, well, I'm not going to show you the receipts and everything because this time, like in any of these types of accusations, if you have receipts to prove your innocence, that's all you need. And then you can walk away legally. You can wash your hands and say, well, I provide your receipts. He'll move on. He might lose a couple 100,000 fans, whatever the case may be. Still going to be a millionaire. Still going to enjoy his fame. But right now, what he's doing, I seriously think his lawyers are probably like, dude, so what? Unless we'll talk about it later.
And I needed to take accountability for my actions and most importantly, apologize to the people that were affected by them. These conversations should have never happened, point blank period.
That's all you had to say. We still have 14 minutes left in this video. Should not have happened. He's denies the first ones. This is, I think, the fourth one. Again, dude, like, I feel like this is embarrassing for him, and it should be. Like, you should have to pay a pretty big price for doing something illegal. But I feel like I hope they haven't like just paid these people off with made them sign NDAs and said, here's $300,000-$400,000, sign it, walk away. And I think a lot of those guys deleted their TikToks and everything else. I hate the fact you can just pay people off and walk away. I just think that should never be the case in a legal situation. At some point, the law should be able to step in and say, regardless of what you think, we're going to investigate this. But why do parents and why do kids have to press charges when there's proof out there? What was the end game for these kids too, right? To go viral and do these things? I don't even know. To get that payday, right? Is it extortion? Is it a way of legally doing extortion where you're saying, you're not even going to talk to James Charles, you're going to put the video out, and then his people have to reach out to you and say, take it down, we'll give you all this money. I don't know. This is a crazy world that YouTube and famous people live in, and it's getting more dangerous. It's getting way harder for these people to take advantage of people, and I'm here for it, and I love it. That is a good thing.
There's no excuse for it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, and I take full responsibility.
There was buts. Your butt specifically was there. I even saw James Charles' ass, and I don't like any of these people. If I've seen your ass, you're way too famous to be reaching out to young underage people and doing the shit you do. I have seen your ass, okay, and I'm nobody. And I didn't want to see your ass, and thanks, Def Noodles.
For that, I trusted the information that was given to me rather than the information I could have and should have gotten myself.
He is admitting guilt. Am I? I'm no lawyer. Holy shit, he's admitting a lot of guilt right now. Oh my gosh. So something tells me his lawyers... There is agreements in place allegedly in the back end that we don't know about with these kids. And so he says, I will come out and apologize. Here's a big settle. If there's no charges filed after this, I hope there's he shouldn't be first of all, shouldn't be able to get away with this. Absolutely not. But if there's nothing that happens after he admits guilt on YouTube, then we know, or we can safely assume that there's been agreements put in place and NDAs.
In both of these situations, doing research into these people's public social media profiles would have revealed their true ages. And
this is what people were saying. All you had to do was look quickly, and he didn't do that thing, thinking with his wang like a lot of dudes do. And it literally took, if you watch Def Noodles and all these guys who were following this stuff, it could have taken 2 seconds to find out. This is why people are worried about this. It's not that they think he messed up. It's that they think that he's got a problem, that he is likely a Pluto. Like he is likely a person who is attracted to minors, which is a problem, and it is illegal, and it is like, that is scary, because if it's happened to 4 people, likely the pattern has continued allegedly through way more than that, considering his pattern, I guess.
Or these conversations would have never happened in the first place, but I didn't do the research, and that is what is so embarrassing.
4 times or more? Yeah. You think you'd learn from the first 2 and do the research, and likely there's more out there. So he's trying to get ahead of them maybe, or something. I don't know. Like, he's got a lot of money to protect. There is a lot of people that likely work for this guy. He brings in a lot of money for a lot of people. He is a big deal, right? And so these people who make tons of money, the platforms protect them a lot more. But I think when it comes to this other David Dobrik guy, he's no longer being protected. It gets to a certain level where YouTube and everybody has to pull him out the platforms, and they have to start demonetizing. And I think this might be coming down the pipe for him. And he saw that, and likely is connecting with maybe YouTube managers, and YouTube saying, look, you got to do this, or we got to pull the plug, right? Like, he makes YouTube a lot of money. So
as an adult, it is my job and my responsibility to verify who I'm talking to, and therefore there is no one to blame for this other than myself.
He's taking responsibility. I don't know, okay.
To the guys involved with this situation, I want to say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I added you. I'm sorry that I flirted with you.
So he's, oh my God. This is, okay, for my other impression of this is he's absolutely being super honest right now. Like, this is the real and rawest apology video to this point I've ever seen. He's actually taking responsibility for what he did. But again, I think that's because he's being forced to do this, because these people were likely about to press charges perhaps, or do something like that. And so there's agreements, and he has to come out and embarrass himself. I don't know. But I got to give him credit, even though he doesn't deserve, well, no, I'm not, no credit, James. You should do this anyway. But he is literally owning up. Still needs to be in jail though.
And I'm really sorry if I ever made you uncomfortable. It is completely unacceptable. I was being reckless, and after looking back and finally realizing that this was my own fault, I started doing a lot of thinking and reflecting to really try and figure out.
The thinking and reflecting comes because you're getting ratioed by all of your fans and everybody on Twitter and everybody online. That, I hate that they have to be forced to do it, where their PR people and their managers are like, just ignore it for a little while, ignore it. We'll see what it comes to. Then it gets to a level where like, hey, got to talk about it now because it's snowballing out of control. You weren't reflecting on anything. You're just pissed that you got caught.
Why I was actually allowing myself to be so reckless in the first place. In all other areas of my life, my friends, my business, I like to think of myself as pretty put together and on top of things, and
word choice. Just saying, keep your word choices a little bit more.
Couldn't understand why relationships were the one outlier. Why were they not working? Why was this area of me so different?
Is he about to admit that he's got a problem being a map?
And I finally came to a conclusion. It sucks, and it is ridiculously embarrassing to admit this, but I think I have to, and that is that I'm desperate.
What? No, you do not get to say that, James Charles. No. A millionaire influencer who could just, hear me out. I know this isn't the best solution, but if you have a problem, desperate, and let's look at this face. This cannot be his loophole to get away with this. I'm pissed that he said that. He should have just admitted what he was, but he can't, because that would have been the end of his career, obviously. No. I'm sorry. You can go find dudes your own age easily, or 18 and above. You can literally have, like, I don't know about the world they live in. I think this is how this kind of works. I've seen enough movies to just find dudes for you. Isn't there like a site on an app that's like called Hungry or something, or the gay one where you swipe it and find dudes? I'm just saying. Or go to the clubs and meet like-minded people there's probably tons of gay influencers out there your age. Like, get with somebody that knows what you're about. I don't understand. It feels like, no. Being desperate doesn't mean that you target underage boys. I think there's something else there, and that cannot be his scapegoat here. That is not acceptable. Nope. You could literally buy the things you want. I'm just saying.
I do understand that with these videos coming to light, it's really starting to, not even starting, it's really looking, period, like I'm actively searching for younger people to be in a relationship with. And
no one says that. We think that you're just targeting kids to get off on what you want to do. You want to get off online. And we see it for what it is. Everybody who sees this sees it for what it is. And yeah, saying that you're desperate is crazy. You are reckless and you have a problem is what people want you to admit. You need to seek help for that problem because it's only going to land you in a really bad place. We talk about this a lot on this channel. If you're new here again, we talk about this a lot about wealthy people who can have anything that they absolutely want. Cars, boats, houses. They can buy help. They can do anything they want. They can literally, this guy's so rich, he can literally buy anything he wants, okay? Can have anything he's ever dreamt of. And a lot of these people get all that and then it becomes boring. And so what they do is they end up trying to figure out how they can get the thing that they're not supposed to have. This is why Epstein existed. The Epstein Island existed. Politicians do this. Rock stars do this. People do it because it's the one thing they're not supposed to have because they've had an abundance of everything else. This guy is gay, okay? He is one of the most iconic gay individuals on the internet right now. It will not be hard for this guy to find likely the most handsome, shredded, ripped gay dudes who he's attracted to who are of age. When you allegedly, target 4 underage boys, that's when we start seeing the pattern. That's why this is such a big deal. He's trying to avoid that. That's dangerous.
I just want to say firsthand that is absolutely not the case. My hope has always been to be in a relationship with somebody around my age or older that I can relate to and that can make me laugh. And
hasn't he admitted, and I could be wrong, this is where people are, no, he hasn't. Hasn't he admitted that he just likes younger dudes, like 18, like he likes younger than him? I'm not saying he is admitted to liking younger underage men, but he likes men younger than him. I think he has, if I'm reading the stars correctly. And so he's just, again, saying these things.
And unfortunately, I've not been able to find that person yet, but the idea of actually being in a relationship became so important to me that I was willing to trust too quickly, miss out on red flags, and most importantly...
excuse me, James Charles, you're the red flag. Did you just call your victims the red flags? You're telling me you're so desperate for a relationship that how you gain a relationship is to Snapchat someone you've never met before who looks as young as he does and send pictures of your ass. And apparently a lot of these guys are straight, and it's kind of like you try to get straight guys to come to you. No, you cannot say you missed red flags. You're the effing red flag. Those boys and their parents missed the red flags. I'm going to have a question for those boys and their parents a little later, because I'm not saying that, I'm not victim blaming. But holy shit, how does your teenager, 16-year-old boy, start having conversations like this with an influencer like this, sending those types of photos without you knowing? That's a conversation we have to have.
Not take the precautionary measures that really anybody, but especially somebody with a public platform, should be taking before talking to anybody. And there's no excuse for that.
Keep saying it. See, quit projecting the thing by saying the same thing. Just could have cut that.
When I've watched videos in the past of people talking about serious topics, such as this one, it's always really bothered me when people would talk about conclusions or changes that they're going to make without actually talking about how they got there in the first place. So I think it's really important that I do that in this video. I just honestly think that I owe it to you guys to kind of walk you through the reflection that I've been doing.
I hope, again, you don't just get to do this and walk away from it by just saying, I'm going to change. You broke the law and you literally admitted it. What is going on? Am I missing something here? The parents of these gentlemen, of these young boys, I hope you didn't just take a settlement and walk away, because that is crazy. You're allowing this guy who targeted your children to go out and do it more, or even now just take more precautions to not get caught. Okay, we all know Austin McBroom is a perfect example of this, allegedly, that he gets girls and women. A lot of these guys get women to sign NDAs right off the top, so they can't, which is stupid. But I'm just saying, if these parents literally took a settlement, I'm going to be pissed.
So you know that I'm taking this seriously, how I came to terms with my desperation, and how it led me here.
How many effing subs does this guy have? Okay, James Charles is worth around $22 million. This guy has 25.7 million subscribers, okay? And he has over 3 billion views, okay? So you're telling me, James Charles, sorry, that you cannot find somebody in your world. Doesn't have to be one of your fans. First of all, let's not forget about the dynamic of who you are, the influencer are, and the power you have over people because of who you are, okay? You're telling me in this giant world that you live in, you couldn't just find somebody that wasn't underage? You gotta be kidding me right now.
In 2019, my dating life became even more public than it already was when I was called out and labeled as a predator. You guys, I feel like at this point, all know the story, so I don't want to go back into
Oh, I'm sure you don't.
details, but pretty much I had to get on camera and prove that I was being lied to.
Again, how did he get away with this? Because I hope he's just not paying people off. Imagine having $20 million, okay? You're throwing $300,000 at somebody. If someone opened a suitcase, $300,000 or whatever in front of your face, you're doing whatever. And that's nothing to him, okay? He'll make that back in 2 days. But not revisiting that, obviously, how do you get away with that? I just don't get in this world where we live in right now, the hashtag Me Too, the people, saying a racist tweet 10 years ago or doing something crazy 10 years ago to a woman gets away with it. Why is James Charles getting a free pass? What are we missing here? What are the dots that are not connecting? He is a predator. Even if those guys did lie to him, let's say they did, and I'm not even sure I want to believe that, to be honest with you, okay? Because again, he could have just quickly looked and he just admitted it, okay? Even if they did, it's still illegal. So, okay, no, not acceptable.
I had all the receipts to back it up, but at the time I also recognized that I definitely needed to change the way I was going about dating because clearly something was not working.
This is not appropriate. We don't need to hear what you're doing about changing dating because there's apparently a new one that just came out today of another guy. So is he trying to tell us, well, here's what we're going to do from this point forward. Here's what lawyers have told you to do from this point forward. Get, signed documents.
And in that video, I made a vow and a promise to myself and to you guys as the audience that I will be way more careful moving forward. And
that was 2 years ago, and then you did it more, so, okay.
Promise was not one that I kept.
So are we supposed to believe you now? Are you telling us now we're going to believe you because your career is at stake? Again, I cannot believe everybody's listening to this guy literally admit guilt, and he's not going to go to jail for this.
I'm going to be honest with you guys, at the time that I posted No More Lies, I really thought that the only issue was
I'm going to dismantle that video too, all right? Dad's on it. This guy's going to be grounded forever.
The straight guys and being lied to. But I now realize that it was obviously a much deeper problem, and I really wish that
he said it there. Hear that.
At that time, I had spent the time to sit down, look at myself in the mirror, and try to get to the root of the problem and understand why I was actually allowing myself to get into these situations instead of just brushing it off and saying, it's the straight guys and it's the lie. But
he's not taking responsibility like everybody thinks he is. He's like, I don't know how I let myself and I got tricked, I got conned, I listen to this. Listen. No. James, you are the one here that is the predator. You are the one here who is reaching out to them, not the other way around. Okay? I am pissed that he gets to take this route.
I didn't, and as time progressed, my desire for a relationship never really went away, and I slowly started ignoring red flags again, and also...
You are the red flag, dumbass! Are you kidding me right now? No, you ignored illegal things. That's what you did. You ignored things that would get you into legal trouble. Those aren't red flags. Those are things to protect minors that you did not do. You have people around you, James Charles. You likely have assistants. You have people around you. You can probably hire somebody to get you booty if you want it. You can just have them vet. This is like an unfortunate, I think, to famous people, an unfortunate avenue you have to go down. You live in this world now. You enjoy, abundance of wealth and everything else. You can hire the people to be like, vet this shit. That's it. Just vet this shit. Doesn't even have to tell them what's about. Vet this person. Find out how old they are. They'll find that information like that for you. They have people.
My friends and the important people around me that warned me that I was going to get hurt. And to them, I also feel like I really owe an apology because I should have listened, and I feel like if I did...
This is getting worse by the minute. His friends were saying, dude, stop messing. They knew that they were minors, clearly. His friends, his family, they all knew this, and he just admitted he ignored them. Are you guys hearing what I'm hearing? Am I crazy? I'm often feel like I'm on an island where I'm like, internet, cops, FBI, hello?
We probably wouldn't be here today. Looking back now and just trying to do my best to piece this all together in my head, I think that my lack of experience when it came to dating growing up, and then all of a sudden having a lot of attention from different types of men, some for good reasons and some for bad reasons, really affected me in ways that I didn't quite understand.
So is he saying he was targeted when he was underage? Is that what he's saying?
I honestly just thought that I had really, really bad luck and that I was being taken advantage of when that wasn't the case at all. And I had the mentality that I could reach out to literally anybody and use my Explore page and For You page as a dating app. And eventually I would just happen to find the right person, but that's just not how dating works, literally at all.
Okay, let's play the devil's advocate for James Charles at this point. Okay, he's 21 years old. Okay, likely if he wasn't a super famous YouTuber doing makeup on his and have weird hair, he'd be in college. Okay, likely living the debauchery lifestyle that a lot of college students love to live. It's part of the experience. I get it, right? So he is famous beyond famous. Right, he's one of the most recognizable people. He's got TMZ following around. It's just harder, right? But he is 21, so let's be real. He is sort of saying I didn't have experience and doesn't. Yes, I'll give you that. Again, it's never going to justify what you did. You can't just keep projecting that, well, I'm just immature. It's still illegal.
It's gross, it's weird, and it's desperation. I just really thought it was important.
Just because you're doing this self-depreciating bit here doesn't mean that you're not guilty. He keeps calling it, I was desperate, I was wrong, I'm desperate. He's bringing himself down to bring, and this is this is a PR stunt, okay? This is very important. He's actually pretty smart what he's doing here. So people will feel sorry for you. Well, I am wrong, and I was desperate because I've never learned how to date, and I didn't know all these things. It's just not good enough. Doesn't matter. You broke the law.
And to share my thought process and the conversations that I've been having with myself and professionals behind the scenes in order to
ding, 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 professionals.
help myself fully understand the situation so I could properly hold myself accountable for how I got here in the first place. When these videos started to come to light, power imbalance became a really large topic of conversation on social media, and rightfully so. In 2019, when I had my whole situation, I was accused of abusing my fame, money, and power to get what I wanted, and
everybody who has fame, money, and power does this. We've talked about this multiple times. There's got to be eventually this has got to be diagnosed. Okay? Everybody does this because it's human nature to want what you can't have. And when you finally get all the abundance of everything, it's never enough. We're always on to the next, right? It's addiction, right? It's an addiction to things because it's things. This is the problem with money. Money is inherently evil. Money corrupts indefinitely. Money corrupts. It's all it does. I've never actually met a billionaire or millionaire. I've never met any of them anyway, but that is not to some degree out there doing crazy shit. They all do crazy shit because inherently, I'd love to see a truthful psychological profile on the movement from being like a nobody to a billionaire and what goes on in between.
I responded to that at the time. I said that was disgusting and that I would never want to do that. And to this day, I still stand behind that sentiment 1000%. So when it was getting brought...
There's no such thing as 1000%. Fail at math.
Again, I got really, really frustrated and was trying to understand, because I was thinking to myself, like, okay, I know that this situation shouldn't have happened. I know that this conversation shouldn't have occurred. I take responsibility for that. But at the same time, like, they DM'd you first. They lied to you. They flirted first. Like, you didn't use your fame, money, and power to get anything.
He's going back to the old one. But these two new ones, he admitted he reached out to them. So, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
But I've now realized that mentality is completely wrong, because a power imbalance can happen even when it's not intentional. What I wasn't getting before.
Yes, and he's right here, because all you had to do was not respond.
Is that the excitement that comes with talking to a celebrity is literally enough to make somebody do or say something that they normally wouldn't, even if that celebrity isn't intentionally weaponizing their fame, money, or power.
But you are. You are, and you know it. Or you don't know it, and you do know it. Does that make sense? So like they reach out to you, you said, well, this guy's cute or whatever, and I'm going to see what I can, yeah. It just, the imbalance happens instantly as soon as you respond. That's the problem. And at least he's admitting it. I mean.
And that's the concept that I just wasn't getting, but I now do. Even though I'm able to turn off my social media and just talk to somebody outside of the spotlight about something normal, in normal clothes and no makeup on, as James Dickinson, but
oh, I didn't know that was his name.
Doesn't change the fact that to them, I'm still James Charles. And that's something that I can't turn off.
I wonder what his parents think of this whole thing. Does he have parents? Clearly his parents. But I mean, I wonder what, like, yeah. I feel like if this was my kid, I'd be like, dude, leave the internet. Like, all you have to do is walk away with your $20 million and just retire. Stop pursuing fame. If you get to this level where you have a problem and you can't help yourself, go get professional help, step away. Because it's just going to get worse for you.
For me, having a public platform has become such a huge part of my life that at this point, it does feel normal. But I have to understand that to 99.9% of people, it's not normal and will never be normal. And that's where the power imbalance lies that I wasn't understanding. But I'm so glad that I finally do, because like I said in
I don't like that. I'm so glad that I'm learning. Too late, bro. I mean, it's just, at this point, it's like when you've done the thing, you don't get a reset after 4 times doing the thing. I cannot stress that enough. He's trying though.
19, taking advantage of that power imbalance is something that I would never ever want to do, but unintentionally was. With this situation blowing up,
using the word unintentionally is still not a good enough excuse. Again, we say this till the end of time, and I think that's what a lot of people are saying to this guy right now. Is like, yeah, we get that you're saying that. It doesn't matter. You still did the thing.
Are a lot of people speaking about this online, whether it be sharing their opinions, arguing back and forth, or most importantly, holding me accountable for my actions. I understand that posting this video today is not going to stop those conversations, but is going to spark more of them. And that's something that I am completely okay with, because
thanks for permission, bruh.
I really feel like these are topics that we need to be speaking about a lot more.
That's disingenuous on his face. No, you don't want people to keep talking about this. This is a weird, I'm trying to unpack this. He's trying to it's weird and it's bugging me. He's like, we should talk about this more. Yeah, I know you don't want this.
I also want to make it clear too that through uploading this video today, my hope and my expectations are not to, press post and then forget about it and move on and wash my hands as if nothing happened.
Wipe your butt with those nails, which is weird. It's the nails.
Because something did happen, and what happened was not okay, and I don't want to just forget about it.
He said he was alone, unless there's like a burglar breaking in there.
I should have been more careful in every single way when it comes to the ways that I was looking for a relationship. I didn't do the proper research, and for that, I'm once again ashamed and embarrassed.
I broke the law, is what he's like. I
can't take it back as much as I wish that I could, but I am really, really glad that I now fully understand the situation, so I'm able to do better in the future, and I really hope to show that to you guys.
The ship has sailed at this point, guys. You can't trust somebody who said, I'm not going to do this in his first apology video, then does the same thing, likely, and it's 2 confirmed, possibly more coming down the pipe, right? More. If you think it was just those 2, it's not. Like, this guy's got, again, Is there something to be said that it's just online? No, it's still predatory and it's still gross because you're still sending photos and you're receiving. Here's the thing. If he actually received images, guys go to federal prison for that for basically the entire. That's receiving child pee. That's what that is. In Canada, if your child receives a photo from an underage girl, let's say, or your child sends out an underage photo, that is distributing and receiving underage PORN, okay? And that is a federal offense, okay? If he received anything, that is a federal offense. How is he literally just chilling right now in his studio in LA or wherever he is?
I'm a firm believer that when scandals or situations like this happen, you can get on camera and upload an apology video where you say sorry a million times all day long, but the only way to actually show and prove that you are sorry is through action and change.
Yes, which you said you were going to do the last apology video. And so now you want all your fans and people to say, well, trust me now. That time, that was different. Now we're doing it. This one I'll definitely change. And then when you don't, what's going to happen then? This is just mitigating disaster by a PR firm and lawyers. And I cannot believe he admitted that he did something illegal. That to me is crazy.
And I'm going to change. This whole situation has been so embarrassing and I'm ashamed. But like I said, I'm now educated and fully understand what went on.
You said that last time. Oh my gosh. I'm upset because I feel like he is going to get away with this. And boys like my son are going to continue to just be like fodder and targets for these types of individuals. What he's likely going to do now is he's gotten advice on how to mitigate, future disasters, because he's still going to want to fulfill those needs that he has. That shit doesn't go away. Specifically if he has an underage fetish. Do you know what I'm saying? That stuff doesn't go away. That's built into their psyche. Okay, likely what he's going to do is just get more savvy in how to hide it and how to cover it up. That's the scariest thing. That's why if you don't hold this type of person accountable, they'll continue to do it. Money and power. Money and power.
And I'm making a promise to all of you right now on camera that I will be way more careful moving forward with every single person that I speak to. My For You page and Explore page are not dating apps, and I will stop treating them as if they are.
I don't know what those things are. I'm too old.
I also have already started asking for proper identification from every single guy that has either reached out or that I was speaking to, and will continue doing so for the rest of time. I now understand the root of the problem. I understand how and why I, and only I, caused myself to get into this situation. I understand that this could have and should have been easily avoided, and I also understand that I need to be aware of my platform at all times. I didn't understand how a situation like this could affect the people involved, but now I do. And
you did 2 years ago, and then you did it again. Oh my God.
That to the victims, I'm so sorry. And I promise that something like this will never, ever happen again. I also feel like I owe an apology to my friends, family, team members, and also fans that
you already did this.
Had to watch this all go down again. To all of you guys, I once again wish that I had listened earlier on. You guys saw this and I didn't, and
No, you saw it because they told you, and you admitted they told you, and you ignored them.
Really sorry for not taking that seriously and not being a better person and a better role model like I promised that I would be.
Somebody is there, and then his hair is weird.
Taking some time away to reflect and further educate myself on these topics.
Also known as, I'm going to let this blow over for a little while because this shit is going to blow up, which it is right now. So I'm going to ignore everything, and I'm just going to, this is a thing in the world of media and politicians and everything else. Enough time goes by, everybody forgets because the new scandal comes along. Do not let this guy get away with this. Do the thing like you did with Mike, everybody. This needs to be talked about every single day. He cannot get away with this. Look what happened in Chris Cuomo in New York City, okay? The guy literally killed like 9,000 old people from his policies, then got accused by like 15 women doing inappropriate things, and we haven't talked about it for a few days, and it's basically like he's just going to walk away. Do not let this person walk away from this. He admitted guilt on camera.
I think at this point it's really important that I do so I'm able to follow through with my word and prove to you guys that I will be a better person. Even though I won't be here posting, I do want people to know that I will still be here, available, listening, and learning. At this point, if you made it all the way through the video, I really appreciate it and just wanted to say thank you for listening.
No.
And I hope to never disappoint you again.
Oh, I'm sure you will. I'm hoping you don't ever come back to the internet again.
See you soon.
Let's unpack that. Okay, so again, I've said it many times. He admitted on camera what he did was wrong. He effed up. He did the thing. He even admitted quite candidly that all he had to do was do a little bit of digging to find out himself. So he knew. We all have established, let's establish that he knew. Okay, admitting guilt on here. What's going to piss me off about this thing the most is that a wealthy, rich dude on YouTube who has influence and power, okay, likely is just going to pay these people off because it's a giant payday for them, right? And is going to get them to sign, I'm not going to sue you, I'm not going to charge you anything like that. They're going to get their little payday and they're all going to walk away. When in the end, he should be put in jail because of what he did was wrong. If a person who doesn't have wealth and power and does all this, they're going to jail for this. Okay? And rightly effing so. I'm so sick of the free passes being given to wealthy and powerful people and famous people because they can afford to buy off the people that are coming at them. This is crazy. So, how do we combat that? In this world, on the social media platform world, we all have social media currency, and how you spend that is important. What you need to do is, to guys like this, is to not give them your social media currency. Okay? You need to continue to call them out. And for the love of God, those parents out there of these boys, if you took settlements, shame on you. Okay? Shame on you. Because in the end, it's your children were the victims at all costs. And so taking a payday because of their victimhood is crazy. Should have done it the legal way and sued them for, we probably got it way more. But in the end, people just want quick paychecks. And and these parents likely could be themselves a little bit embarrassed because their kid is part of a scandal. I get it. I get all that. But don't do this, because if you allow a alleged Pluto to walk around and continue to do this, because he's proven time and time again that he continues to do it, okay, then some semblance of blame has to be laid on the parents of these kids, because they are their kids' parents. They're the ones who are supposed to be able to be watching out for their kids and protecting them and making sure that anybody that comes at them like this is taken down. If this happened to my 14-year-old kid, I'm not going to take a settlement. I'm going to kick your ass in court or something. I'm going to do whatever it takes to bring you down. So I'm upset because I feel like he's going to walk away from this after admitting guilt on camera, which would literally put you in, if they were going to sue you and charge you, that's you admitting guilt. So what I'm hearing here is allegedly they all got paid off, and they said, well, here's the apology you have to do. Part of the behind the scenes, lawyer talks is like, okay, well, we'll do that. And likely they didn't even want him to do that, but he did it. So I'm pissed because there is no justice here. Nobody gets justice here. And this guy's allowed to walk free after doing this and set an example for other people to come forward to be like, well, if I'm rich and powerful, I can do whatever I want. That's how Epstein Island happens. That's how this shit goes down. The upper echelons of power don't want James Charles deplatformed. They don't want him to be called out for this. It seems that whenever kids are involved in something on social media, especially when underage kids are being exploited in crazy ways like Lily Ketchman and all those kids from Dance Moms and all the little girls we're uncovering on social media, it seems like they all get a free pass, these parents, to do these things. Why are the underage kids the ones that the internet is cool with exploiting? Oh my God. It's just, you should be angry. And James Charles should be an example that we set as people, as parents, as people who love our kids, protect those around us, to be like, nope, this is where we draw the line, and use him as your catalyst to make sure that no one else does this. James Charles and David Dobrik and friggin' Jeffree Star and all these guys who just use their influence and wealth and power to get what they want, and then when they get caught, they get to do a shitty video like this with dumb hair and get away with it. I'm upset, and that is unacceptable. I'm not going to let him get away with it. I'm going to continue to talk about it. I will likely get deplatformed for doing videos like this, but I don't give a shit, because if I'm not willing to stand up for these kids, like I hope their parents are, because I guess we'll wait and see. But if people like me are speaking out and they aren't, there's a problem. Okay, I've got a kid who's 14 who looks just like those boys, and if he was ever targeted like that, don't target my kids, is all I'm saying. And parents need to step up and stop taking paydays and letting predators go free. So if you don't see me upload in the next couple days, because I definitely got my channel shut down. But I'm willing to take that risk to speak out against people like this, because that's bullshit what he did there. The self-depreciating, oh, I'm wrong and I'm the worst and I have, you know, I'm just desperate and all. Give me a break. He wants to cry tears for you, make $25 million. You literally can date any dude you want within your age range, likely, who's gay, and they all look the way you can find anybody. Your net is so widely cast and you're so well known, you can likely have anything you want, but you want the thing you can't have. That's the problem. If you're here and you're new, one way you can help me, if you appreciated this video, if you're listening to what I'm saying, is to follow me on Instagram. That's how my voice can grow. That's how this platform can grow. Because likely, if I'm going to come after James Charles and a lot of these bigger influencers, which I am, I'm definitely going to be in the target. So, and I'm going to be targeted big time. But if you don't know what I do here on this channel, I like to call out fake family vloggers who give you this idea that this is how the world should be, and they exploit their children online without their consent. And so that's what I do here. And so thank you for joining me. If you're new, appreciate it. Like and subscribe or don't, I don't really care. But one thing you need to do is take a deep breath and say this with me. I'm important, I'm valuable. I'm here looking out for kids, even if I don't have my own kids. I'm here because this is an important topic to our culture. It's an important topic to my community. And if we band together and get angry and make changes, then we can use guys like James Charles as a catalyst to say, this is unacceptable, don't do it. And it will dissuade people from doing it in the future. If he gets away and gets to walk away right now, it dissuades nobody. Okay? So you are valuable, you are incredible. Thank you for watching this. Know your worth is wrapped up in who you are and those around you that need you. And the things that you do have ripple effects throughout the world. So do good things, be a good person, and you look super good today. Like, hey, with the big hair and stuff, looks really good. Cool shirt too. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow.